We have Olaf, Nintendo on Olaf in the jungle, Zion Spartan, Lee Sin top, Pixel with Janna, Kog'Maw with Zig, and we do have Scar mid with Rise, Voyboy top with Vladimir. I have not seen Voyboy do that much Vladimir, but against Lee Sin, it's not going to be that fun of a top lane for Zion Spartan. Ping's going down on his red. They do like they're going to go for an invade. They're going to leave a ward on their own red to stop any counter invasions. Intended going into the river bush. Zion Spartan going into mid lane bush. Probably going to take his Q first for invade. Ping's going down. Paradoxical pokes his face in. Scar immediately gets Q'd. Half of his health is already gone from just Zion Spartan's damage. They do know that they're in for the red. And that does reveal what their team's going to be doing. Checking that bush with the Q. Making sure that nobody's in there. The ward is on their red bush to prevent any kind of counter invasion. All 5 of MM is in this bush. They do want Dignitas to kind of poke their head in, see if they can do anything. Ping's going down on Wolves. The CV does go down. All they see is I will dominate, waiting patiently at his Wolves. Does not seem to care that MM is in their red. The rest of Dignitas does not appear on the CV. That means they do have a potential of 4 people to come out of nowhere. Scar does poke his face in. He is back in mid lane. Kog'Maw going back. Locust appears on their ward. Does not seem to know what he's doing. They're taking wraiths. He does lay a ward. They do ping it. They do see it. They knew that there's a ward on their wraith's bush. There is no counter invasion. Did leave 1 wraith. The Tormented Soil goes down. Zion Spartan and Nintendo taking that red. He does smite it. It does mean his smite's not going to be up for another 70 seconds. And we're going to see if Mundo makes a play with that. Zion Spartan going top. And Paradoxical versus Scar in mid. And then we have Kog'Maw and Janna versus Ashe. He does seem to show up. I don't know if they're going to be in a position to do anything about it. Mundo is in the red. They're collapsing out on him now. They do get vision. He does take red, smites it, but he will not seem to escape. Paradoxical throws down that snare. He turns around, runs towards golems. Nintendo coming in with that Olaf X. The ghost does go down. The exhaust goes down on Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw flashes over the wall. Janna picks up the kill for first blood. Janna now has double buff. That's going to be a very scary bot lane. Unfortunately, Nintendo did not pick up that kill, so he does not have blue, has no mana for the rest of his jungle clear unless he goes straight there. His smite is not up for another 10 seconds. Finishes off of golems, goes back towards finishes his red. They do now have the timer, and Dignitas does not. They do have Nintendo on that ward, so they know he's at race. Uses smite on Big Blue Wraith and decides to go for his blue. Scar immediately at his turret. Paradoxical just shoving that lane with Tormented Soil. She's got 8 CS to Rise's 13. He does seem to be farming quite well under his turret. Ping's going down. CV goes down. He has not cleared out his Wraith camp yet. There he is, poking his head out. Started golems, now working down towards wraiths. You have Nintendo finishing off his blue. That's going to be up in 5 minutes. Bot lane. Janna seems to be getting caught out here, throwing out her whirlwinds. Kog'Maw comes in to save her. She does throw off a tornado and a shield, but does take a significant amount of poke damage. Nintendo looking for a gank top. I don't think he's going to get it. Vlad is 4, which means he does take his pool. Olaf does not have a way to stun him in that time. He only has a slow from his axe, and we're going to see if he gets it. Zion Spartan going in with his E. Does pool. Cannot pick it up. They will not tower dive. A little bit of poke damage, but that's all he seems to get. But what is this? Nintendo seems to go back into Tribush to try again. Pool will be down this time. And we're going to see if they can get a summoner spell out. Does get the axe. The E does go down. They does miss the second X, and they decide to back off. Voyboy cannot approach his creeps right now, because as far as he knows, Um, Nintendo is still in that bush. He does show up, and we have Paradoxical coming up from mid lane, trying to catch Voyboy off guard. And he's going to see if he can land that snare. The snare goes out, and he does pull under it. Ganks failed for the third time. Voyboy showing exceptional play up top with his Vladimir. Nintendo is gone. Paradoxical's returning to mid lane. The CV does go down. I Will Dominate was in the area. So if that did get any worse, he was going to show up to that turret. Scion Spartan going back, trying to pick up some wards to keep Mundo from ganking his lane. Nintendo decided to go back to jungling. Janna recalling, leaving Kog'Maw alone while he just gets poked down. Locust just zoning him from the creeps, throwing those bananas. Star calling away. He cannot farm while Janna is away. Cutie Pie just will not let him. Trying to keep Cutie Pie from harassing him. Pings do go down on both sides. They don't know where I Will Dominate is. They know he's in his jungle, but they don't know which side. They know that the buffs are about to be up pretty soon. Nintendo casting Ghost, getting Locust with that long range axe. He is going to true damage and pick up that kill. That is now 2-0 for MM. It's a very strong position right now. Janna is back, CVing Blue to make sure that Mundo's not in the area, placing a ward on Dragon to keep him from being able to gank bot lane through the river. Nintendo going back to his jungle, making sure that the wraiths are getting cleared. The ward from Dignitas is done now, so unless they replace it, they do not know that he's there. I Will Dominate, poking his head out, saying, "Hey, I'm still here." Appears in mid. He is going towards his wraith or his wolves, and Blue is about to be up. So MM is going to see if they can bait Scar into taking his blue buff. Scar does not seem to care, just farming away. They do catch Mundo out. They do kill him immediately. That is now 3-0 for MM. Just catching people out left and right, making sure that when they do get it, they die. And it looks like they're going to go for this dragon, especially since the jungler is now dead. Pixel pulling out of its cage, the dragon resetting. It can't seem to decide who it wants to hit, so it decides, I'm going to go back to sleep. Nintendo now tanking this dragon. He does not have Wriggles yet. They're pinging for Zig to come up. Kog'Maw just farming away under that turret. Nintendo does have to back off before that dragon kills him. They are poking it down. It does look like they're going to pick it up. 7-minute 41 dragon. The ward does go down. They do know that they have it, but it's too late for them to stop it. Cutie Pie just trying to poke his head in. He does go back to lane without any ill will. They do go back to their lanes. Nintendo picking up those golems before he goes back to base. Zion Spartan getting ulted by Vladimir, zoning him away from the creeps. Not really looking for a kill, just trying to get some breathing room from Vlad. He is unable to deal with Vlad at this point. And you do see the timers going down in chat. They do know when it's about to be up. So in 13 minutes, there will be a counter invasion from Dignitas. They will not just let them get another free dragon. Zion Spartan trying his hardest to trade with Voyboy. He just cannot deal with him at this point. He does not have the built-in sustain. Nintendo and Wolves, he's going to show up at top if it gets any worse. And it looks like Paradoxical is going to do his job for him. Going up from mid, a ward does spot Paradoxical. Voyboy immediately backs off. Scar looks like he's about to go bottom, but decides not to. He does have blue buff, so he's about to spam that Q as much as possible. Mundo shows up, and the Wraiths, they're going to try and catch him out. He does steal Big Blue through the wall with his cleaver, leaving Nintendo to very sad Olaf. He does not show up on the wards as he leaves, which means that he has somehow found a way back into his jungle. Paradoxical going to get this blue buff. Morgana with blue buff is a very scary thing to deal with. Ping's going down on the red, and we're going to see if Mundo has picked up his red. The CV does go down. I Will Dominate, walking away with that red, proud and happy. And they're going to see if they can gank Voyboy. And if they can't, where they're going to see if they can pull Mundo out. Ping's going down on bottom. There's a ward immediately placed in Tribush. Nintendo going to see if he can force a fight here, or if they can dive Voyboy under this tower. I will dominate, sitting pretty at that tower. They're going to immediately dive on him. Zion Spartan taking tower aggro, gets immediately exhausted, W's away. Nintendo showing up, getting the true damage, getting the ignite, getting the ulti, and they walk away. Beautiful Ash Arrow comes out of base, hits Zion Spartan square in the chin. Unfortunately, they cannot follow up on it, and so the 2-pin walk away free. 4-0 for MM. The kills racking up on this side. Voyboy finally returning to lane, but it's far too late. Zion Spartan walking away with 133 health. He's got 2 Negatron cloaks and boots. Picks up 2 Dorn's blades, 5 potions. He does not want to get pushed out of lane by Voyboy. Voyboy shoving the lane to the tower while he's gone. Nintendo gonna go towards his red. Ping's going on Dragon. Bot lane is pushed up, so he's going to lay down that ward. And ward's on a 3-minute timer, so it's going to catch Dragon right as it spawns. Scar going home, picking up. Mid lane CS does seem to have a clear winner right now. It's 770 on Paradoxical's Morgana to 87 on Scar's Rise. Scar doing a very good job of CSing. I will dominate, taking over for mid lane, making sure Paradoxical can't just shove that to the tower. Nintendo picking up his red, making sure that nobody's going to take it from him. Dominate does go back into his jungle. The ward does pick him up going to his Wraith, so they do know where he is, which means that bot lane can be as aggressive as they want, shoving that lane to the tower over and over, making sure that Cutie Pie has to fight the turret for last hits. Nintendo coming up through lane, looks like he's going to try and go through the bushes. They do have a pink ward in that bush, but the lane is pushing back, so he can't just walk straight in. Lane gank's very strong because they have no idea that they're coming. Pings do go down on blue. Scar does poke his head in, decides to turn around. The CV does make sure that Scar is not coming. He is returning to mid lane to catch up with that CS. Paradoxical taking the blue, while Nintendo decides to make his way into that bush, just waiting patiently. Mundo is caught going into the MM's jungle. There is not anything for him to pick up. The scariest thing that he can do right now is come out from behind the turret while Scar ganks Paradoxical. Unfortunately, the lane is just far too pushed up. She does seem to check wolves. Wolves are gone. And she cleans up that camp so it will respawn. Nintendo decides that it's not worth his time. Mundo shows back up. His ulti has been used, so it will be down for the next 60 seconds. Scar just farming away happily. Bot lane cannot really deal with anything. We have Zion Spartan zoning Voyboy right now, using his energy-based character to constantly throw out moves. Paradoxical looking for a gank up top. I'm going to see if they can get it. I do think Voyboy knows. He does dodge the binding. He does dodge the dark or tormented soil. So Paradoxical must return back to lane before Scar just shoves it to the tower. Nintendo just does seem like he's going to take over the lane for the next few seconds. Locust appears on wards down at Dragon. He doesn't seem to be placing anything right on Dragon. It looks like there's going to be a ward right at their Wraith. Things have been going down on his blue, and Scar will pick up that blue without any... they're moving in to try and seem to take it. However, bot lane is there, and MM's bot lane has not returned yet. They do not have the manpower to fight this. They cannot... Oh! Paradoxical does steal the blue through the wall. Beautiful Tormented Soil, beautiful snare. Ping's gone down all over Dragon. Dragon just spawns right as the ward picks that up and then promptly dies. We do have MM going for it, but we do not see anyone from Dignitas. Voyboy sitting in mid lane, and there's Cutie Pie poking his head out. I will dominate, throwing some cleavers, trying to poke, but they cannot deal with this. They're going to pick up this dragon, and their Cutie Pie getting caught out by that slow. Zion Spartan immediately going in. Cutie Pie drops immediately, and that was very bad for Dignitas. It is now 5-0 and 2 dragons. Nintendo has 2-0 and 3. He is a very scary man right now, and he's sitting in Tribush waiting to dive on Locust. Locust figures out, his nose sniffs it out in the air, and unfortunately he is caught out. I will dominate, saying, take me instead, casting his ulti, and they will get out. No damage will stick on these two players due to their heals. Nintendo does get slowed by the cleaver, but I don't think he's in any significant trouble. They are just going to take down this tower, or at least put significant damage on it. Everyone seems to be returning to their lanes. Scarra back mid. I'm surprised that I haven't seen any kind of team play from Dignitas as far as fighting against objectives. The timer does go down for Dragon. Bot lane took significant damage but did not go down. So they're going to return... Excuse me. They're going to return to farming. Bot lane CS, 118 for Kog'Maw versus 103 in Ashe. Kog'Maw does seem to have a little bit of an advantage. He does have a kill and 2 assists over Ashe's single death, so he is far ahead. 15 CS does equal 1 kill, so he's about 2 or 3 kills ahead now. Nintendo passing off the blue to Paradoxical. He does have one, but they do want to secure their blue buff. Smite going down. Nintendo does pick up the blue buff. I'm not sure if that was intended. I will dominate, just kind of moseying around. Can't really figure out what he's doing. He does take over mid lane so that Scar can return to buy. And Nintendo takes this to poke his head in. See if Wraiths are there. They are not. Mundo is wearing his red, so there's no reason to counter jungle red. They're going to put damage on this tower. I don't think they're going to go ahead and take it, yet Scar does appear. The binding goes down, does catch out I Will Dominate, and they back off doing significant damage to the tower, but not anything else. Zig poking down the spot tower. It looks like they're going to try and finish it off, but Cutie Pie does not want to hear it. He does push off the wave, preventing them from doing so. Nintendo poking his head in their jungle, trying to see if they can just 3-man gank Scar. Scar just immediately flashes, does not want to be hit, throws down the snare, but Olaf cannot be disabled. Zion Spartan showing up, using his Q, using his ulti, throwing down the ignite. I Will Dominate, trying to kill off Zion Spartan. Ulti from Paradoxical going down. I Will Dominate's ulti is on. He cannot be killed at this point by simply Morgana. Morgana does get caught out by Locust, and I Will Dominate picks up 2 kills. It is now 6-2. The Ashe Hawk does go down. They do spot Nintendo, and Nintendo decides, I'm out. I don't want to be near this anymore. Does take over mid lane. Voyboy level 12 versus Nintendo's level 9. Voyboy does sense this advantage and decides to scare him off. Nintendo just throwing axes, trying to keep Voyboy off this tower. This Locust does appear on those bot Tribush wards. It does look like he's about to go ward Baron. They don't have any wards on the river itself. They do have wards all over the jungle, but they don't have any wards through river. That means that when Dragon comes up, I think it was around 19 minutes, they will not have vision unless they place a ward. Kog'Maw picking up their red all alone. They don't have vision on that river, so if someone comes out, he will die. Luckily, no one decides to poke their head in. Scar is just moseying about, doing what he does best, CSing. Morgana with 142 to Rise's 139. Paradoxical definitely bringing back the CS back. But unfortunately, they are very even. Rise has Merc Treads trying to get out of those snares, Catalyst and Tear of the Goddess. He has not completed his first item, and you can kind of tell where Rise is going based on his first item. But just all too content to sit there and CS away. A ward does go down on Nintendo. They do know he's there. Rise just poking his head out over the wall. Bot lane does look like they're going to go for a dive here. However, they do smell blood in the air. Locust putting down a Tribush ward. They are stealing Dignitas's blue for the second time. Very good jungle control coming out from MN. And they're going to put pings all over the place, all downriver where there are no wards. Ashe does poke her head out. They do know that Ashe isn't anywhere near them. However, Zion Spartan is fighting Voyboy up top, and he does not have any reinforcements. They are pushing down mid tower, making sure that Cutie Pie cannot stop them from taking this turret. The first turret of the game does go to MM. Mid lane turret, a very important turret. A lot of teams seem to just push straight down mid, and second you lose mid tower, it just becomes easier. They are checking Dragon to see if it's going to be up. It's going to be up in about 5 seconds. Oh, Paradoxical baiting out that Ashe arrow, immediately shields it. Ulti going down, poke coming out, but it does seem like they cannot initiate on that. Ashe did go down in that fight, and Paradoxical is rather low. But no one else on Dignitas is in death range. They do have a pink ward in that blue bush, and they did take out the ward, which means that they do not have sight on 2 of them. CV does go down. They do catch Locust, and I will dominate. This dragon is just getting very scary right now. Scar poking his head out saying, hey, I want some blood. It does spawn, and they do go for the dragon. Paradoxical in a very scary position. If anyone gets on him, he will die. It does look like they're leaving Nintendo kind of out to dry. They do pick up... I don't know who got the dragon. The smite did go down, but I think Dignitas did pick it up. They seem pretty happy about what they did, so they did back off. All 3 people, bot lane and mid lane, have to be Zion Spartan taking over mid lane, and Scar going to be... Bot lane has pushed up throughout this entire time. Bot tower did go down, so it's 2-0 for towers and 2-1 for dragon. I would expect that MM does have a gold advantage right now, and they're going to see if they can capitalize on that. Nintendo taking his race, trying to hit level 11. He is about to get there. Ping does go down on blue buff. They want to hand it off very soon. The dragon timer does go down. He skips his wolves, goes straight to blue buff. Zion Spartan saying, you cannot have this tower. Shows up, pokes his head out. Pings go down on bot lane. Bot lane is pushing back. Lone Kog'Maw standing to face this tower. A bush ward does come out on Tribush. Kog'Maw using his ulti to make sure that nobody's there. The blue did get handed off to Paradoxical. Nintendo going back to base. Zion Spartan shoving in top lane. They're just playing the waiting game. They do know that they're ahead. Paradoxical roaming around in their jungle, trying to see if they can pick somebody out. Zion Spartan backing off. He is half health against Voyboy's full health Vladimir. Vladimir looking like he's going to go for Rylai's. Pings do go down on the Wraith. I will dominate poking his head out. Scar poking his head out. And they're fighting Voyboy alone. He does get the ulti. Summoner heal does go down. The ulti does go down. They're going to see if they can pick up this kill. Zion Spartan flashes in, throws out the Q. Pixel does get caught out by Scar. All of his damage going down. The shield does go down. Ashe arrow goes down. Spell immune. Zion Spartan in a very bad place right now. Mundo getting caught out. Locust getting caught out in the middle of their team. He drops very quickly. Nintendo rushing in. Ulti on. Trying to do the true damage. Zion Spartan. Shield going down. He is going to try and show up on Cutie Pie. Cutie Pie immediately says absolutely not and kills him. It is now 10-3. MM coming out extremely ahead in that trade, and they're just going to push straight down mid lane. They're going to... Pings do go down. They're going to try and heal up off of these wraiths and try and capitalize on this. Scar does come out. He does want to catch somebody out of position. He does want to get a kill. Paradoxical throws down that snare, and they just pick up Scar. Immediate death. And they're going to try and see if they can take a Baron off of this. There's 1 second on Mudu. He does not have flash, so he cannot jump the wall and steal it. 30 seconds on Scar, so they can't really put up a fight. The best thing that they can do right now is try and steal Baron. Voyboy does show up top, and everyone's getting pretty low, so if they come out of nowhere, this is a very bad place for MM, but it does look like they're going to pick up this Baron uncontested. They're walking away, proud heroes. Locust putting down wards in their jungle. They're in a very bad position right now. Dignitas is just on the defensive against MM. MM pushing in every single advantage they can get, shoving down mid lane, shoving down bot lane. That was a very good play for them. Picked up, I think, 3 for 1 And Dignitas is just going to have to wait it out, farm it up, see if they can get someone out of position. Unfortunately, MM's team comp does not like getting caught out of position. They have Olaf with that ultimate, and they have Morgana with that spell shield, and you've seen so far. They've been trying to catch people out with that Ash arrow, and every single time, Paradoxical just on point with those shields. Blue buff, it does get CV'd. The entire Dignitas team is there. They do not want that blue being stolen. They're just fed up with MM showing up and taking their things. Pixel a little bit out of position right here. He does catch the ward out, placing a ward in that bush, clearing that one. Paradoxical just shoving in mid lane with that Tormented Soil. It does look like everyone seems to be grouping up mid to try and take this tower. Zion Spartan does leave top. They're going to try and see if they can get anybody out of here. Kog'Maw just poking away with that superior range, 710 at max level. Zion Spartan does seem to get caught out by Ashe, but he does dash to a ward. He is completely fine. Everyone's just playing the siege game, setting up. We're going to see if Paradoxical can catch someone out with this Q, hiding around the corner, trying to be sneaky. Voyboy does show up. The snare does go out, but it does miss. Kog'Maw going back to doing what he does best, which is poke that tower from outside of its range. The tower does go down. It is now 3 towers to 0. Zion Spartan getting unloaded on by Skara. Unfortunately, Zion Spartan is just too tanky right now. He's got a Maw of Malmortius. He does have a phase, and he's got 2 Torrens Plates. He is not afraid of Skara as long as his team is there. Counter jungling Wolves on the way to bot lane. The rest of MM does immediately clear out this lane. They're going to try and take this bottom tower. Dignitas is absolutely not, and their entire team shows up to stop them. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot they can do against this Kog'Maw. This Kog'Maw is just going to poke down this tower from outside of its range over and over. And until they can engage, and they don't really have a very strong engage because of MM's counter initiation. So Dignitas is just in a very bad position right now. MM is just going to shove these lanes, and they're just going to poke these towers over and over. This Kog'Maw is just going to absolutely destroy these towers. They have to give up tower after tower, and you're seeing this again and again. Skara does get caught out. They immediately throw everything they have at him, but they cannot get to him. Pixel does get thrown down. The Vlad ulti going down. Janna ulti going down, trying to kick people out. Zion Spartan, Malmortius shield going down. We do have Voyboy getting caught out, and unfortunately, the story is the same. They cannot finish off any of MM while they do get free things. The bot lane inhibitor tower is down. Cutie Pie getting caught out. Oh my god, the Ashe ulti, or the Morgana ulti on Ashe, does have to flash out. Summoner heal goes down, but it cannot save Ashe. They are just back to sieging this tower. Their lifesteal is just too important. They cannot be stopped at this point. They're just going to take this inhibitor for free. Voyboy is trying to scare them off, but he's just a single Vladimir. They're just walking from lane to lane, taking what they want, and there's absolutely nothing Dignitas can do about it. The ping does go on for Dragon, and it looks like they're going to pick up another 190 free gold. Dignitas is just in a very poor position right now. They cannot deal with Kog'Maw's poke. They cannot deal with that counter initiation. They cannot deal with Olaf just running straight into the back of their lines and killing Ashe. There's absolutely nothing they can do right now. The whole team recalls, about to pick up a buy, and it looks like they're about to push for this final push for game here. Top lane does look like it's pushed up the tower. They're going to see if they can push that out. Baron should be coming up in about 2 or 3 minutes, and so we might see MM wait out for Baron to finally push that out. Nintendo getting very tanky right now. He does have a Legion, he does have a Heart of Gold, and he does have a Giant Spell. Probably going to build that into Warmogs. Combined with his natural lifesteal and Wriggle's Lantern, he's going to be a very hard man to kill, along with that passive, which increases his attack speed as he gets lower. Pixel warding Baron. It does look like they're going to set up for this Baron. That Oracle's making sure that there's no wards. Voyboy is bot lane, but Baron is not up. They cannot take Baron 30-30 timer going down. That is the Baron timer, so they do have about 2 minutes. They do abandon, and they're going to try and catch Dignitas out of position. Dignitas does not have CV, so they do have no idea without wards where MM is. And with Pixel's Oracles, that's going to fall off real hard. Top lane tower does go down to Kog'Maw. Just an absolute monster. Paradoxical making sure that nobody gets anywhere near him, that shield going down for the cleaver, and Dignitas just has to play this game that MM's much better at. Silent Spartan showing up, but he is so tanky at this point that he does not care about their damage. The cleaver's going down, but Spell Immune does not care at all. We're going to see if they're going to play the poking game again. Scar does get hit by the ulti. Cutie Pie does get hit by the axe. Paradoxical does shield himself. Zion Spartan jumping in. Gets Cutie Pie off with that beautiful Q. Vlad ulti going down. Mundo ulti going down. Janna counter initiate. The stun does miss. They're going to see if they can pick somebody off. It does not seem that I Will Dominate will die. A whole lot of spells and ultis going down for absolutely no advantage. The snare does go off to see if they can catch I Will Dominate. They cannot catch him out. They're going to try and see if they can kill that ward. Unfortunately, they cannot seem to finish it off. They're going to take this top tower and possibly Inhibitor. Does catch Scar out. They're going to immediately try and go on him. Morgana ulti going down. Ignite going down. Scar does drop. Zion Spartan has to flash out. He's very low. And they're going to take this Inhib. Or try to. Vlad trying to scare him off. And that Kog'Maw is very low right now. He does have to flash out. Pixel does look like he's going to die. But Paradoxical Snare comes in. The Morgana shield making sure that Ash Arrow will be absolutely useless. And Dignitas just cannot seem to get their foot in the door. MM just constantly throws things down, throws down the gauntlet, and there's no way for them to respond. Pings go on Nexus. It does look like they're about to push and win. They're probably going to pick Baron up on the way. Everyone seems to be basing, going back for that final thing. The score is 14-3. Dignitas just cannot seem to destroy anything. The the middle inhib tower is gone. All three inhib towers are gone. Bottom inhib is the only one missing, however. Baron does spawn, and everyone on MM seems to make an immediate beeline. However, Dignitas does know that they're going to go for this. Locust picking up that Oracle is making sure that their vision is not useful. And it does seem that everyone's kind of making sure that they can't take this Baron for free. Dignitas is in a position to fight this. They have to. This is game. If MM gets this Baron and pushes down mid lane, there's absolutely nothing Dignitas can do about it. Pings go down on Baron. They're going to try and see if they can bait them into a fight. I don't know if they're going to start it, and they will. The Q going down from Lee Sin. Wards dropping over the wall. I Will Dominate's ulti going up. There will be a fight very soon. Kog'Maw chunking it down that Baron. He cannot seal it. He does not have flash. The Baron does go down. 31-22. Baron goes down. It does look like there's going to be a push. Top lane is pushed up. Bot lane is pushed up. They're going to push in mid. There's absolutely nothing Dignitas can do. They have to get rid of these creeps. And it does seem that they're going to go immediately for the Inhibitor. Get rid of, not even care about any of these creeps. Kog'Maw chunking down the Inhibitor in seconds. The Inhibitor does go down. They now have 2 lanes with Inhibitors down, and it does look like they're going to complete the set and go for the top Inhib. Dignitas has to stop this, and it's just not in a position to do so. Voyboy is going to immediately try and throw down that ulti. Zion Spartan getting caught out of position. The Shirelius going down. The Ahad ult going down. Janna ult going down. Ashe ult going down. Does hit Kog'Maw, but no one seems to be in a position to do anything about it. They do end up taking down Paradoxical. Vlad does go down, and it does look like this is going to be game, because Dignitas just falls down like a stack of dominoes. One person goes down, and there it goes. Zion Spartan cannot die. And this does look like game. The GG's going down. GG, well played. MM does take this game for a win against Dignitas.